Hi, Susan, again, and welcome. This is such an informal kind of thing I've started, but yeah, we're calling it for a while my pretend talk show, but I'm calling it.
I love it. I love it. And, I love casual too. I mean, informal is so much better in the world. I mean, I think for those of us who, like you, have had long careers, mine very, very long because I'm so damn old. But the thing is taking off that formality is
Oh
so,
my gosh.
it's so
Oh my
freeing.
gosh. Well, and I have to give you a proper introduction, but one of the things I love most about hearing and listening to your book was how you say we should show up in the work world and our personal lives as the same person. And I absolutely believe that. So let me at least give you a great introduction and then we can just get down to it and have some
Thank
fun.
you. I love it.
Yeah, of course. But for any of my Substack audience who do not know Susan McPherson yet, she's the founder and CEO of McPherson Strategies, which is a communications consultancy at the intersection of brands and social impact, which I think is so cool. So you've spent over 25 years in marketing, PR, and sustainability communications. Known as a serial connector, sorry, she's the author of The Lost Art of Connecting, the gather, ask, do method for building meaningful business relationships. And her work has been featured everywhere from Harvard Business Review to Forbes to NPR, CNN, just unbelievable. So, welcome, Susan.
Amanda, I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a fan. I'm like fangirling right now, just seeing you right front and center. I just wished you were like across the table from
I know.
me.
Well, it's so funny when you get to know people and you haven't even met in real life, but I feel like I know you already. And I just have to share how taken I was by you because and this whole thing about interviewing people came from knowing Shannon Watts and having some amazing women in my life who said, "Why aren't you talking to people like this? Other people want to meet them." So I was introduced to you through Shannon Watts, but she had us both get on a live that she did to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of her amazing book, Fired Up, which
Fire
we're
up.
both a
Oh,
part of, which I loved. But even better is I was listening to you speak and I was like, this woman is magical. She has this ability to bring everybody in and feel seen and connected. And then you just like DM'd me on the side and said, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, oh, I love her. This is amazing. It felt like something I would do. Like, hey, want to be friends? Let's take this
yeah,
offline.
yeah,
And
yeah.
just by doing that, you actually gave me the courage to look into you more and realize that you are the kind of person I need to know
Oh,
for my business and that your work centers around, I think, really empowering women to kind of step into the best version of themselves and learn how to kind of get the most out of their business lives as well.
well, I often, I think, found that it's hard enough being one person, let alone two people. So why would we be a work self and a personal self, right? I
Oh,
mean, it's double the effort, double the time,
it's so
double the
exhausting.
energy. Yeah. So it just makes sense to be who we are. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have to air our dirty laundry in every room,
No.
but we can just be our human selves. The
I
good, messy, the friction, all the things.
All the things, and I think it is really exhausting. I think as a young person going into the corporate world, I did feel like you were supposed to have this other
Good.
almost facade, and I just it never sat right with me, and I was never good at it anyhow. Like, I you know? But I think when I heard you say that in your book, and you can feel it when you're communicating people, that you're just being your real warm self, that it was so refreshing, and then to learn that you'd written this book, um,
Yeah.
which I'd love for you to kind of talk more about this philosophy, the gather, ask, do method. There it is. Sorry, since I listened to it on Audible, I don't have a hard copy in front of me.
Oh,
But I
that's
think that the other part that I found so disarming and charming about you was the beginning of this philosophy, which is, and you did this with me when we got on a call. You're like, how can I help you? And that just kind of blew me away. And so, would you mind sharing what this book is about and kind of how you came up with the gather, ask, do?
yes, absolutely. And thank you for this lovely opportunity, Amanda. And thank you for all the good you do in the world and the
Oh,
community that you create. It's really extraordinary. Not to mention
thanks.
fabulous chef and cook and
You're so
creator,
kind.
artist, and all the things. I came from the womb of a serial connector and a
Mhm.
father who's also quite a connector, and that instilled in me from a very young age to go into the world from a perspective of curiosity and
Hmm.
also looking at this notion that every breadcrumb that we follow leads to opportunity.
Right.
And I was just fundamentally always curious, but I also was tiny. I am a very diminutive woman. And when I would walk into rooms, I think we have some sound. I want to make sure that
You
is
okay?
yeah. Um it's saying this 97%. So maybe
Huh.
that's it.
Okay.
Back to messy and friction. Here we are.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
So I
Welcome
would walk
to
into
24.
rooms and people wouldn't see me, right? So
Literally.
think out of like subliminally, I learned to help people not just look over my head and have a conversation with me. I would start asking them questions about themselves.
Uh-huh.
And it began to metamorphosize into listening for signals for ways to be helpful.
Hmm.
And, in the 90s, when I was really I mean, I came of age professionally in the 80s. In the 90s, out there doing business development, marketing, sales, we were all taught to network.
Yep.
And I instead found that if I learned to more deeply connect, I would be more successful professionally. Like, and when I say deeply connect, I don't mean networking. I
Right.
mean being inquisitive, asking people questions, learning how we can be helpful.
Hmm.
Follow
Hmm.
all the years later when I wrote the book, I there's a reason I named it The Lost Art of Connecting rather than The Lost Art of Networking. Networking
Hmm.
is transactional. Networking is walking into rooms thinking about what you can gain rather than walking into rooms and thinking about what can you give? How can you be a human and kind and compassionate?
Wow.
And I do wanna take one hiatus from that, though, because I know as women sometimes we try to do
Yes.
too much. We have too many things going on, and we can't be saying yes and being helpful. So this doesn't mean you have to do this all the time.
No.
It leading with how you can be helpful with others
Yes.
shows you to be more human and lasting. And I assure you that the help comes back to you when you offer that.
It I hate to put everyone in a bucket, but it feels to me on such a great level. It just feels like a more female way to approach it, right? Like I find myself especially trying to get, as I've been going about building my own business and you and I have talked about raising money that to walk in, it's my instinct to just kind of want to get to know people and find real
Right?
connection instead of
Yep.
just moving in for the kill and being like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
Right. I just find it really off-putting, and so learning how to navigate the world where you actually understand the value and just starting there, right? And
Yep.
forming those real connections, I think it makes it a lot easier to get to the asking part and
Oh,
understanding then how to do that.
oh, 1,000%. And
Yeah.
it's funny, a virtual example of this is on LinkedIn. I'm
Mhm.
people in the audience that had a situation where somebody reaches out,
Mhm.
you look at their, request and you determine, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. And then within 20 minutes, they're selling you something.
Completely.
And I was on a panel recently at the wonderful, membership organization Luminary in New York, and the woman next to me looked at me and said, "That's called pitch slapping."
I love it.
And to this day, everybody I talk to, I'm like, did you know what that's called?" And my advice is, let's redirect that. Instead, when you reach out to somebody on LinkedIn, take 10 minutes before you do and find out a way you might be able to be helpful to that person as
Yes.
opposed to selling them at that moment. You can sell
Yes.
them down the road, but that, it's a little like asking for sex on the first date, which by the way,
Yes.
is totally fine. I'm not,
You're not gonna say that's a bad idea.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I just
Here.
meant like
No
this
judgment.
just it's a way to show up and instead and we have all the resources at our disposal now to
Right.
find out how we can be helpful.
No,
You know,
absolutely. It's so easy.
yeah, 50,
Yeah.
40 years ago, I was a researcher at USA Today. I had the Yellow Page
Wow.
and the Encyclopedia Britannica from which
Oh,
to
oh my God. Isn't that wild?
digress, but there you
Okay, I will use pitch slapping forever and give you full credit, and then you can credit who told you that because that is amazing. I just got pitch slapped. Like, that is hysterical, but
it's
true.
it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So Can you talk us through a little bit? Okay, so the gathering piece is really interesting for me. And you really start with learning about other people and asking how you can really be of service to them. But then how do you move into the ask piece of this
Well,
equation?
and well, the gather, ask, do is the methodology for my book. And when I
Yeah.
landed the book deal, I learned very quickly that you had to come up with a methodology if you have a business book. So
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to do some backpedaling and look over my, last 30 some odd years professionally, and
Hmm.
realize that um, in the gather phase is when you are assessing your life, right? You're essentially, where am I going? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be in community with?
Hmm.
And then you also take some time to think about what your superpowers are so that
Yeah.
can be helpful. And
Hmm.
I will tell you that a lot of women specifically don't think they have superpowers. And
Yes.
I'm here to tell you that every single one of us do.
I agree.
So in the gather phase, you think about who you can connect with outside of that hermetically sealed bubble so that we're
Hmm.
collectively finding ways to connect with people who are different from us, different age, race, color, religion, etc., views, so that we can learn and expand.
Yes. Yes.
And the ask phase is taking what you've been able to kind of muster together in Gather and think about, what are the questions that you can be asking others to help understand their world and their goal.
Okay.
And if you pay attention and listen, which we are all very, have lost the ability in many cases, so we have to be very intentional about how we listen, then we can get to the do phase, which is my
Okay.
place to be. And that is listening, taking what you've heard, and following through. And being able, not every day, or every second of every day, but
Right. Right.
twice a week, 3 times a week, once a day, but making time to follow through and follow.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, can you give us all like a really great tangible example of when you've put this into practice yourself in your own life, in your own work, and how you found it to be successful?
Well, I mean, one situation comes to mind last summer, and I think it's I mean, indicative of how human connection is still the way to go, no matter how
Yeah. Yes.
great
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
But last summer, a dear friend of mine who lives in Austin, Texas, decided to adopt a baby out of the foster system in LA, Los Angeles.
Wow.
Meanwhile, she's a 54-year-old single mom, or well,
Wow.
a woman, and she knew she needed to find cost-effective housing in the Los Angeles area because she was gonna have to spend at least 2 months in LA going through
Hmm.
the entire process. So I put out an ad to, 40 or so friends in the LA area to say, "Do you happen to have an idea on cost-effective housing?" Well, not only did we find cost-effective housing, within 24 hours, we found a free house that happened to be situated next to the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer of Happiest Baby, which is
Stop.
I don't have kids, so I don't follow the baby space, but evidently it's like the vendor for buying new baby. And so the point is,
Remarkable.
the algorithm of AI would never have been able to come up with that
No.
and with that care and compassion and secure the deal. So to me, that is an example. I took it upon myself to make the ask. People came through. And it's one of probably thousands of examples of ways we show up for one another.
That is remarkable. But I do think that when you go through the effort of actually doing the thing, making the ask, and following up for somebody,
Yeah.
magic can happen. Like that is unbelievable that that worked out.
And then following up and making sure that the person who made that deal kind of happen, that she
Yes.
felt seen and she felt
Yeah. Oh,
and I just, to me, I those are the things that make life worth living. Like I mean,
I
right?
agree. And I was going to ask you, I think we're kind of answering it as we converse, but it's like, what's the one habit from kind of old school connecting that you think we're missing out on? I look at my son's generation and he's a young professional. He's in his first job out of college. And, it's really exciting. He gets to go to work and, work downtown and all the things, but they don't have to go into the office. It's recommended they go in a day or two a week. And he is so tired of me being like, are you going to the office today? Are you going to the office today? Because I know that when you connect in real life, great things happen. And so, how do you feel about kind of like this lost art of connecting in person and where we are with it now?
Sure. Well, a couple of things, and thinking of your son, I mean, I feel for that generation because they not only, I mean, and there's good and bad here, they grew up with their
Mhm,
handheld,
mhm,
basically screen first generation.
mhm.
Then they had the pandemic.
Yeah,
So it
double
was
whammy.
really isolating. And just a few weeks ago, the Washington Post had an article talking about that Gen Z has trouble in the workplace because they don't know how to use the phone. And when I say the phone, I mean this, like like conversing, right? And I'm often asked by, people, what do I tell my kids? What do I tell my tweens, my 20 somethings? And first and foremost, we need to model behavior, right? We're all on our phones. So first of all,
Yeah.
what? And two, I think we need to help younger generations understand the why. What
Mhm.
possibilities? Like the story I just shared with my friend
Yes.
Lou, like the magic that can happen. Because if you
Yep.
don't give people a why,
Yeah.
that it's like, wait, this is all I've ever known. Why would I change? So you have to
Right.
like show the magic of
Yes.
what can happen. And I'm actually contemplating doing another book, which would be about the extraordinary magic that happens when we do show up, right?
Please.
You know,
Please.
not anti I'm not anti I mean, Claude, ChatGPT,
No.
these tools are amazing what they can do
Absolutely.
of efficiency, but once we take the intentionality away, and intentionality can be virtual, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
be in person, but once we take that away, we just become machines, right? Like, the human emotion, the crying, the laughing, the messiness,
All
you
of
know,
it.
the conflict.
Mhm. Mhm.
Need that. So we've gotta be able to show them what they're missing out on.
I would love to see that book from you because I think that it has to be written by someone our age or older who's been able to experience all of it, right? And the beauty of connecting in real life and finding ways to do what you're talking about and go kind of through the entire circle of it. I just think that, you brought up that um it's that situation example in Los Angeles, and I'm thinking about the fact that my son and his girlfriend and all their friends are looking for apartments in San Francisco, and it's impossible to get a place right now. It's
Mm,
never been more expensive. There's 50 I went and, like, tried to get a place for my friend's daughter who wasn't here the other day, and I showed up at the open house, and they said, 52 people applied, and it was $4,200 for a one-bedroom, right? And it but I said to my son, I forced him to go to an open house with me to look at a place for his girlfriend because I said, you have to meet the landlord or the building manager. Like, they have to know that you care and have an interaction. And we went and we had a conversation. And although they didn't get the place, he said, if you hadn't come, I would never have given you the time of day. Because all
wow.
I heard was that she lives in San Diego and her friend lives down here. I didn't know. Do they have jobs? Are they really serious about moving to the city? And I thought, that is something that that entire generation, like, it didn't even
Yeah,
phase him that
yeah.
that would be important, and that kind of really just made me sad. I was like, "This is how it's done," right? And so, I think that hearing someone like you I would love to hear your perspective because I want to feel hopeful that we're coming back around to understand that there are all of these tools with social media and AI and these things that can make our lives easier, but there are some things that you cannot replace. And true connection, I think, is what makes the world go round.
Well, I think we're certainly seeing, like, the online dating apps kind of going by the wayside. People
I
are really
can't even be bothered. I mean, I was never bought in. I got to tell you. And
oh,
people now are still like, why aren't you on the apps? I'm like, you can't. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
it does expand the dating pool.
I'm sure it does.
Indicative that people are craving in real life
I
experience.
agree.
I
Right.
think, we're seeing, lines of people standing in line at bakeries and here in New York City, and they're actually having fun. like talking to people. And then, you look at like the summer of sports and how people have been, again, standing in lines and getting out. So I think there is a resurgence.
Yes.
And I think we need to do everything we can to encourage it. As an employer who has run a company for 13 years where we have been virtual,
Mhm.
I dissuade companies from forcing their employees to come back,
Right.
but instead giving them an option,
Yes.
because I do think we function best when we are in the environment. But I do also, in your son's situation, I do think it's healthy to go into the office a couple days a week, if
Yeah.
possible, just to build early relationships.
That's it.
But I think, conferences are selling out. I mean, every indicator I'm
Yes.
seeing is there's a real push to get back out.
It's really encouraging. Yeah, it's really encouraging. So, well, can I ask you a couple fun questions
Of
about
course.
your line of work and communicating, just for kicks for people to get to know you better? I love questions like this. And I heard Tina, or no, I heard Amy Poehler doing this yesterday,
Oh,
and it gave me an idea. Okay, here's a question: would you rather have a single 10-minute conversation with someone, or a full day where you can't say a word?
I would discombobulate. I got a D in conduct in 5th grade. There's no way I could spend a whole day. I have friends who go to these silent retreats. I'm like, I
Die.
I'd rather have a colonoscopy. Like,
I take it you're taking the 10 minutes of conversation.
yeah.
That's an easy one. Um, Here's one. As someone who I really believe, it seems like you have met so many fabulous people in the world. Who's the connection you're still hoping to make happen?
Oh my God. Ah, who's the connection? Well, no, I've met her. I was going to
Ah,
say Michelle Obama because I love
amazing.
to meet her. Um, I It won't happen now, but I would have loved to have met Diane Keaton.
Oh my, she's one of my, yes.
Such a human.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we could
That's
say famously, yes.
That's a great one. She was fantastic. Yeah, really. Think so many of us felt so connected to her because of her humanity and just ability to be herself.
Yeah, and such a dog fan, and dogs.
Oh, a dog fan. Wait, do you still have the same dog that you spoke about in the book? Is it Phoebe?
No,
No, you have a different dog.
yes, I have a different dog, but Phoebe tragically at age 7 died very, very suddenly, and
Oh,
it was unbelievably painful.
oh.
But
Who's your companion now?
Rosalie,
Okay.
she's sound asleep
She's
somewhere.
somewhere. She's somewhere. I love it. I love it. That's amazing.
An appearance, and it's a very loud appearance, but
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
um,
I love it.
I made sure to walk her very long for a long.
That's that's so great. Okay, here's one, and this is what I'm curious about. What's the
Yeah.
best piece of advice you'd give a woman about someone who's about to walk into a room where they don't know anyone?
Well, first and foremost, go with the power of 3 in your mind. You're gonna meet 3 people,
Mm,
and share 3 things, and
okay.
learn 3 things. That way, you're grounded,
Mm-hmm.
staying in with that curiosity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's measurable so that you can feel, those of us who always feel like we have to accomplish something, that
Yes.
when you leave the room, when you leave the event and you go back to your hotel room and order room service or go hide in the bathroom, you'll feel
Yes.
like you've walked away. And it's also a reasonable number, right?
It is.
You're not going in there to just like blanket the room. You're
No.
you're holding your composure.
Oh, I
And
love that.
the mantra of just reiterating in your brain what are your
Mhm,
powers, so that
mhm.
you walk in that room, you're not intimidated.
You know, it's funny when I have a great conversation like this, I'm recording this. I can go back and listen, but I'm taking notes. I'm literally like, okay, what are your superpowers? I got it. All right. But it's so funny.
And that comes from, all I mean, all a place of insecurity, right? Like,
Yeah.
when I used to be, again, being the tiniest person, walking in, not feeling like I'm being seen, I had to remind myself, like, I think of a puffer fish,
Yeah.
where you kind of, that whole exercise, Amy Cuddy,
Yeah.
thing. Well, if I stretch, nobody sees it. So it has to be internal and lifting,
Yes.
right? Like a ballet
Yeah.
dancer, right? Just stretch that spine.
That is such a beautiful way to go into the company of others you don't know, and, I'm gonna practice that myself.
Yeah, and you said this earlier, everyone can use a little bit of help. So,
Everyone can.
or an
Absolutely.
option or, a recommendation.
Mhm.
Help doesn't always have to be, writing a check. It can be
No,
other ways.
no,
So,
it can.
yeah.
So in closing, I have to ask you this because you were so generous in asking me, and I thought this has been a really one-sided friendship so far, but is there any way I can help you?
Well, you're doing it right now. You're giving me
Oh,
a beautiful platform and introducing me to your community,
oh,
which there's no greater gift, right? It's
oh, I love that.
thank
Well,
you.
when we're done, I will send it out to everybody with a link to purchase your book and also encourage people to follow your writing here on Substack. And I saw that you said you'd posted on LinkedIn as well, or you were talking about that. And I don't know if I saw because I saw that writing and I'm like, did I see it on LinkedIn? Did I see it? Where are you? So, like, you're very active on Substack, LinkedIn, and on Instagram as
Yeah.
well.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to just quickly tell you this,
Yes.
for those of us who have been perimenopause or menopause and we start
Yes.
fog, we're living in that era when somebody says, "Did you get my message?" And
Truly.
I'm like, "Okay, which platform? Is it text? Is it voicemail? Is it email? Is it WhatsApp? Is it Signal? Is it a DM on Instagram?" And it's a bad combination.
It is. I wanna, like, send a message being like, "Just direct them all to one place, please,
Exactly.
for me, and I'll check one," because you're not kidding. Like,
Yeah.
people will send DMs like that's, leaving you a voicemail or a text, or it's hilarious. I guess we just have to laugh at it, right?
That's what I
Well, I can't wait to spread the word about you and your work, and thank you for being a part of my life and for inviting me to be a part of yours by reaching out
absolutely.
that day.
Well, and I can't wait till I'm in the Bay Area and we can meet in real life.
And I will be in New York sooner than I think, so we will
Amazing,
make this happen soon.
amazing, awesome.
Okay, good. Thanks for your time. Okay, see you later. Bye.